what is most important is really stability, a stable government with their consistent policies and one that can execute. And I think clearly this is the first time in 30 years where you have a single party majority government. And that obviously gives us, that encourages us that we will see the ability to execute out there. So clearly from that perspective, we are positive.
What about the near-term growth story of India? With the Modi government coming in, there's a lot of renewed optimism on the ground. There are mixed reviews. Some feel that the optimism has indeed translated into sufficient domestic activity picking up. Some say no. There are the naysayers. What is your point of view as far as the near-term growth story of India is concerned?
Look, structurally, we've always found India an attractive market. It resonates very well with our overall investment themes of transforming economies, growing middle-income populations, emerging champions, companies with comparative advantage in certain export sectors. India also has, its themes of consumption, urbanization, etc., all resonate strongly with our investment themes. So we've always been, found India an attractive place to sort of invest for those reasons. I think at this point in time, we've gone through a cyclical slowdown over the last few years. We do feel that we've, are coming off the bottom.
E-commerce has suddenly become the flavor of the season. There are lots of e-commerce companies that are commanding mind-boggling valuations. Flipkart, to name a classic example. Internationally, Temasek has had interest in e-commerce companies, say for example Alibaba.com. You have interest in Snapdeal. What's your outlook of the Indian e-commerce space?
So look, e-commerce is a secular trend that we are seeing growth of that across the world. And I don't think India is going to be any different. We obviously at a very early stage in India of the e-commerce boom. So there's a very long runway to go. So ultimately, clearly we are positive on the overall market opportunity. Ultimately, who the winners are going to be, it's going to be a function of execution, scale, and so on and so forth. But clearly, it's an attractive segment and one that we are monitoring closely. And as you said, we've invested in Snapdeal.
There are some critics who feel that perhaps the Indian e-commerce story is blown out of proportion. And how would you respond to those critics? Because they are the critics who are perhaps playing it safe and saying, listen, let's just wait and see how the story pans out. Let's look before we leap. How would you respond to that school of thought?
So look, I think whatever investments you make today, it's based on some outlook for the future, right? So I don't think anyone debates the growth of the top line in the e-commerce industry. I mean, we ourselves believe that the sector could grow, about 6 times in the next 4 years or so, right, in terms of total transaction volumes. The key issue is what is the path to profitability and how long will it take for companies to get there? And obviously different investors have different perspectives. You can take lessons from other markets, but each market is slightly different. And it's very difficult to make a call out there. The point I would make is that the runway is so long out here that I think whether you're early or you're a few years late, if you pick the winners, chances are you'll make a lot of money in the segment.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.